Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here with Dr. Angela Marick, and we have lots to talk about today. Specifically, we're going to talk about aligning with abundance. And one of the things that, if you're a holistic practitioner or you've ever seen one, she is a chiropractor, but there are a lot more trainings and background that you have. And most of us holistic practitioners don't want to list all of them. And I actually decided that I need to tell you all the amazingness of Dr. Angela and all of the things she's doing and all the things she's done. Because again, when you're in the holistic field, you don't just study nutrition. Maybe over time you study coaching or psychology, or you might get into deeper body work or chiropractic care. And I think it's how we start to integrate these things and see how they're all connected. So Dr. Angela has been practicing chiropractic for over 20 years, and you graduated from the Palmer Chiropractic School, and you actually had a very successful practice that is now White Rose Chiropractic. It was still White Rose when you owned it, and you sold that. We'll talk a little bit about that process. And you have your bachelor's from Cornell, and you are a Division I athlete, and you're a diver, so that's pretty cool. And you have your nutrition and exercise and physiology bachelor's, and you actually graduated valedictorian from your chiropractic class in 2003. So I say that because I think that you have so much value to offer in your background, just from the academic perspective and your experience of 20 years teaching aerobics. So you have this health and wellness is the vitality in which your energy expresses is all of your health and wellness background and your degrees and your experience. Building a practice, a successful practice in general, is no easy feat. And being a mother, so that's a lot, And the other thing is you sold your practice and you became a grief and empowerment coach and author, and you're a motivational speaker. And the fun thing that I really got excited about when I first met her was that she's also a philanthropist. You have a school, this is called the Joslin School. It's a nonprofit, right, in Kenya for children.
Yeah.
And you are now a pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, that's my new fun hobby.
Yeah, so there's a lot of value from just your life experience and all the things you've learned and the fierceness in which you continue to love not only yourself but your clients, and this passion you have for life and the vitality in which you bring forth in what you express. So what we of course have here at Firefly is you're offering services for chiropractic care. And I know that for myself, I've been to many different types of chiropractors, and I'd love to hear a little bit about what you're offering and your philosophy for your chiropractic care. Because and especially if someone's never been to a chiropractor, maybe, there's a lot that you have as far as your philosophy and how it may be unique for you.
Yeah. I think, just like anything else, when we are, in the healing modalities and such, is like really we're allowing our own, just our own philosophy, our own magic, our own energy to flow through us. And what I learned in my evolution as a chiropractor, and I've worked in more high volume experiences, where people come in, you're with the patient for just a short amount of time, give a intentional adjustment, and we move forward. As I've returned back to practicing chiropractic, my philosophy has changed a little bit. One, I really love, because our nervous systems, at least the people that I've had the immense pleasure of working with, are so hypersensitive that I want to create an environment that feels loving, nourishing, and supportive and safe. And what that looks like is I've created in this beautiful space called the Reiki Room at Firefly Hollow, having my chiropractic adjustment. I always love to look in the person's eyes and really just check in with them, like, hey, what's going on? What's going on in your life? What's top of mind that you want to just share, and let it be witnessed, so that we can build that trust, that rapport, before I ever put my hands on and for a chiropractic adjustment. The other part that I really feel strongly about is your body has innate wisdom already in it. But I believe, unfortunately, in our culture, we've been conditioned not to trust or listen to our bodies. And so many times, unfortunately, due to trauma, many people don't even feel safe to acknowledge that they don't even talk to their body.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really feel is so important is to help support whoever I am called to work with, to really empower them in their own body's wisdom, to really start to access it. So one of the things I say is, you've lived in your body your whole life. I haven't. I have experience. I have, intuitive understanding, and for sure, like, lots of practice. But you know your body best. And one of the roles I like to take, the philosophy, is how can I help support, one, activate your body in its highest expression through an adjustment, but also helping and supporting, collaborating with you. Like, what are you noticing? What's coming up for you? Does that feel okay? Does it not? Does it feel restrictive? And really asking your body's innate wisdom of how I best can support and serve, and also empowering you of what do you want to do moving forward. I'm not here to be like, you must come like, 3 times a week for the rest of your life. Like, more of like, okay, what is your body wanting? Let's discover that. Let's discern what that looks like, not from a cookie cutter recipe, because your body is not like anybody else's. And when you invite me into assessing and checking and offering a chiropractic adjustment, you get me with it. So that means that part of that is that we're going to explore that, and it's going to feel a little bit different. But the feedback I've received is it always feels compassionate and nourishing and very supportive. And I love that.
Well, the thing about the different styles of chiropractic, it's different styles for different people, right?
Yeah.
And when you are looking to express exactly what uniquely you offer, we're looking to have the people who really want that. What is it that you're looking for? And I know for me, when I first got my chiropractic adjustments early on, I was in an open office setting where there were a lot of adjustment tables set up, and it was maybe like 30 seconds to a minute and a half of my adjustment, and then I was done. And then it was like, go on your way, which is really a beautiful offering for people. And I had a car accident, and it was a little bit after that, my nervous system was like really fried, like too much noise and movement. And I wanted to be in a room where it was just me and the chiropractor, where there was space and time. And I did that, and I found that. And then as I progressed along, I really wanted to have a chiropractor that wasn't like, you need to come back every, two times a week or 3 times a week. I knew with that, as I was taking care of my body and listening more, I wanted someone that was more intuitive in the way that they saw me from a holistic perspective. Like, what is causing your subluxations? And instead of dictating, well, I know what it is, like how you are working with your clients, you are helping them tap into their unique wisdom and asking questions and helping get to the root of it. And so with your background in nutrition and the awareness, that you were actually a really cool story about a client that you told me earlier, that you're working with that person individually. You have the time and space. You're not in an open office setting where you have this peace, this stillness, and this amazing presence that you have, that you feel seen and you feel heard, and you don't feel rushed through. You don't feel like a number. That's really important. I feel like the value of that is incredible. And so, like, I know we're talking about aligning with abundance, and to me, that feels abundant to me because time is a precious resource, and I don't feel that we have enough of it a lot of times. We feel like we don't have enough, or someone doesn't have enough time for us. So the space in which you hold, there's still parameters of your time, but it's almost like time stops when you're with Dr. Angela. You hold such incredible presence space that it's like we can calm ourselves down and not feel rushed and feel like we're just able to be seen, and you to help us get this alignment and best meet. So I'd love to hear if you want to share the story about your one client and how unique that adjustment was. Because it wasn't something that was you need to keep coming back, and you had helped her guide her to her meditation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had somebody who was referred to me that had lower back pain, which is not an uncommon thing to see as a chiropractor. And I had her lay on my table, and we were just talking, and I was asking what she'd been doing. She's like, I've actually been learning to get to know my body. She was actually trying to lose weight, and she was kind of studying what she's eating, how she's feeling. So she already innately was like starting to explore that to begin with. And she's like, yeah, I've been doing meditation every day. I'm like, that's fantastic. So I adjusted her. She felt better. She got off the table. The other challenge too that I've noticed, especially in our culture, is we are in a go, 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 do, do, do society. And I believe we're coming to a season in our culture where we're realizing that is not the healthiest for our nervous system, for our full potential, for our magic to be totally, fully actualized. And so she'd been practicing meditation, but because she was feeling better the next day after her adjustment, she decided to vacuum, which triggered her lower back issue all over again. So much so that she ended up going to the orthopedist and some other medical some other, I'd say, more traditional routes, and want to honor all different expressions of how we support people in their bodies. But she found in those ways she wasn't getting relief with that either, right? Medication wasn't helping. She was still having pain. And so she was texting me this, and I literally just felt called, because I love to listen to my own intuition. I called her. I said, let's brainstorm. What's going on? What are you noticing? And, like, what do you feel like your body's telling you? She's like, I feel like it doesn't want this medication. I said, okay. So, like, let's listen to it, right? And so we went through this whole process. And I said, what if you just keep meditating? Maybe you just like imagine there's white healing light around your lower back. And we just kept having this dialogue and checking in every couple of days through text. And about 9 to 10 days later, she sends me a picture of her smiling outdoors in nature on a trail. She's like, this is what pain-free looks like. And it was amazing. And I think that's another element of the flavor of how I offer my adjustment. And I want to honor every chiropractor in his or her own gorgeous, unique way. This just happens to be mine that's evolved from the season when I did practice at a very much faster pace. But if I'm honest, it was coming in when my nervous system was so triggered because I felt like I was always behind or letting somebody down. Yeah. I could hear patients in the waiting room, and I hate making anybody wait, right? And now it's like, no, we have more. We have more space that we've created, intentionality to really get to that. And it feels abundant. It feels abundant in my body, because my body actually was starting to break down as I was seeing a much higher volume of patient care at that time. But I want to offer with this particular person was we collaborated. I asked her nervous system, her wisdom, like, hey, what is it that you're needing? What are we looking for? And I'm pretty good at cutting through the BS to get a little lower underneath the hood a little bit deeper, so that we can like not just say, oh, I don't know, or like, oh, I just need this or whatever. Like, I check in, make sure we got connected in that deeper level. And what was so beautiful is that, her one visit, because of how it evolved and how she listened, how she practiced, she was able to heal herself, which is what chiropractic philosophy is all about. Is helping stimulate the innate forces of self-healing powers within the body. And this just happens to be the flavor, the modality, the way that I currently am offering that. And that was a really cool story. That one visit. She didn't have to come 5 times a week or anything like that. She literally came once, involved, and she knows I'm available if she feels like my flavor of care is something that her body needs. That feels amazing.
And I think that feeling, the amazingness, we talk about this feeling of abundance, like, this is what we really truly are craving as a culture. We have so much of this perceived lack in time, lack in energy, lack in connection, lack in intimacy, lack of connection with ourselves. We could go on with the story of the lack attacks that we have. So that's why we want to talk about abundance in general, and really we'll talk a little bit briefly about what abundance looks like. What does it feel like? And how is it that you help implement that for your clients through just the adjustment, the energy piece that comes back? Anything, examples that come to mind, so we can kind of connect the dots for people.
I think that it's especially coming to a place, and this is something I try to do most days, is, really just put it into the universe. Like, send me the people I'm here to serve that are wanting and desiring the energy that I offer, right? The healing medicine that their body might be craving, right? Versus, I have to get through this many people. I got to ... We got to
put a billboard up on Route 30.
Right. Like, here I
am. Be loud. And no, it's soft. It's trying softer. It's allowing. It's abundance in. Because that lack of that pushing of the energy that our culture tells us we need to do. And especially coming from graduating valedictorian and going to Cornell, like, you come from all that, like, we have to perform, and being an athlete, like, that's a lot. So you have that experience, and you know how to perform. You know how to, like, do a really good, high quality, like, you still have that as your values. Like, I want to make sure I'm really 100% there, but this isn't a way that I think is where our culture needs the shift.
It's an evolution.
Yes.
Right. And that, and I want to honor, like, the version of me that created all that. Like, I'm really proud of that. And yet also energetically, that was a different, like, version of myself. Right. And now I desire to support those that want to really actually get to be in a more loving relationship with their body. I think that's abundance.
Yes.
Too. And the other thing too I want to offer about abundance, because obviously when we think of abundance, I'm just going to name it, right? We usually think money, right? And recognizing like what if money is just like an energy packet in the form of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And it's just another way, another form that we have agreed upon as a society of how we get to exchange value. But recognizing how it has ebbs and flows. And I really been thinking a lot about Mother Earth and nature, right? We have seasons. Most of us, at least where we live in Pennsylvania, right? We have seasons where, everything is blooming or starting to right now in the spring, right? And then in the summer, it's just like out there and beautiful. And in the fall, things start to close down. And Mother Nature prunes the winds as, the leaves start to fall so that it can go hibernate and kind of be a little bit closed in and kind of like just check in and all the stuff and then come back out for the next season. And I believe in our culture, we think we always have to be in spring and summer.
Yeah. There is an ebb and flow that we've forgotten.
And what if it's sacred? All of it. That's why I love talking about grief, which can be a whole other conversation. But grief of like really honoring those seasons or the season that we're in. Sometimes we need to go within. I've been doing that a lot over the past few years. So that we can come into the season of blossoming. Doing it from a place that's nourished.
Yes, it's overflowing.
Overflowing versus, and I've talked to so many, especially women, right? How much we're always giving out of an empty cup until we're like, I got nothing. Right? We don't know anything about that.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So I love that perspective because I think that's where we do think we do associate abundance and prosperity with money only. And I think understanding what you said, it's energy. Like I think more people may understand this, that the energy you expend to caretake or to be there for someone, or even a stranger you meet in the grocery store that you feel, oh man, my energy starting to get a little drained from this person. Like you're exchanging an energetic output. It's maybe not in the form of a packet, like you said, money or dollars, but your time is also an expression of your energy and giving of your energy. And so I think redefining the exchange of, I'll just say currency.
Yeah.
The word currency, a current of either I'm exchanging my time, my emotional energy to be there to support a friend, and there's no value exchange with money. Your friend's not paying you to sit there when they're going through a hard time, but there's still an exchange. And I think that's something that we've forgotten about when it comes to abundance and prosperity, understanding that when we discern what is profitable would be the right word actually, profitable for our energy. Like what's profitable? Like when I'm sitting with a friend and the value is I'm loving to give to them. It's profitable because it feels good to my heart to give.
Yes.
And they need it. So it's interdependent in this dynamic of currency exchange. We're not exchanging money, but there's an exchange of energy. And I think that we can take the bad feelings that we have associated with money out when we say it's just a form of energy, because we have a lot of stigma around money and finances. And if we can look at it like that, that you're giving your energy in exchange in the form of dollars for a service or whatever. And I'd like to talk about that because we know with the ebbs and flows of the winter season, we're down, and the spring and summer, we go through real legitimate ups and downs, flows with our finances at times. And say we were sick, we were off work for a little while, we made less income. So the affording certain services, especially for self-care, especially for keeping your energy abundant and aligning your energy through body work, through chiropractic care, through just being in your lovely energy, you already just bring so much. You're like an overflowing cup. Like you said, you come and you charge up just the value of sitting next to you just for this interview, which is amazing. So like getting an adjustment from that type of person or getting a care or whatever, I think there's so much value there. Yeah. And so because of the flow in our finances, our budget, we want to move into a new paradigm of how abundance could look like. And so let's talk a little bit about people go, how much does it cost for the adjustments? And in the past, it's like, well, it costs this much. It's this dollar amount. And here,
rigidity,
right. And here, this is going to be maybe a really new concept for a lot of people. What is it? How is it different here? Share a little bit about that.
Yeah. I think what's so important, I want to honor too. So when I decided to start practicing again here at Firefly Hollow in the fall, right? We started calling it like a love offering, a sliding scale.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because sometimes we'll have access to financial resources, sometimes not, right?
Yeah.
And as we do our, our services, is that, currently like the exchange of resources to support other opportunities and our own nourishment. But I think what's really important, one thing that I've been practicing is I put like the intention, the value, and sometimes I put it in dollars just because that's how my brain can sometimes identify with it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm putting the value of say, $50 or $1,000 or whatever into the world and just trust that I am being supported in whatever way I will receive that, but it won't necessarily be a one-to-one even exchange in that moment.
Yeah. It's not transactional. It's more of a currency like I don't know, I gotta see it like how the cycle of like the life cycle kind of like things cycle through, and then it like even with rain and water, it might evaporate up before it comes back down.
Right.
It might turn into ice first before it evaporates and goes through its cycle again. It's just the same energy that's changing these different forms, and it may not come in this linear fashion.
No. And I've noticed that by just putting the intention out to the universe, even from how it's been ebbing and flowing, and the experience here has been incredible and magical.
Yes.
Things coming in different ways that I could never have anticipated.
Yes.
It could be whether it's a connection with somebody else, whether it's dollars in a totally different dimension that support some of the projects that I'm involved in, the philanthropy that I'm involved with. But I think what's really important is really offering when somebody comes in and they, there's the intake, that's a separate container, but then coming in for an adjustment, that the value that they get to receive for those that feel called to the work that I offer.
Yeah.
And we have like a suggested like middle ground, if you will, which is $50 for the experience, which is the intention of the value of all the years, all the things, but also my intention too is that this is not, I want it to be so valuable that it feels like the most amazing years, the amazing expression that you get to invest in, that it has so many multiple return on that.
Yeah.
That one, that you're also not coming in 3 times a week. This is like, hey, you're coming in and it's such a tide pod of energetic input into your body, and then support moving forward as your body acclimates to the new energy, to the new way of being, as your body, a new frequency of healing goes through your body. That my intention is that it is a very like long-lasting input. But that said, as we put the intention of like a $50 adjustment or version or a value of that, and my intention is the value is at least 10x that for whoever comes in.
Yeah.
But that also that there might be times that there may not be those dollars easily accessible in somebody's account. Yeah. Okay, well maybe we're like, you know what, this week it might be $30 or and next time I want to offer 60. So I want to like give it flex for it to, so here's the suggested
it's
exchange
you like
for a brain.
Like for example, if I like was sick or something from work, if I had that for everything like out there, like I'm sorry to the service provider, I can't, maybe I just skip my self-care that month or that week or whatever because the finances were not there. But with this situation, there's flexibility, especially say you have 3 kids, you're bringing 3 children in.
Absolutely.
For $50 each person. That's not affordable for anyone. So most people, for a lot of people. So we're kind of flexing. And then if you're like, wow, I'm feeling so much more abundant, I'm going to be actually giving more than $50 this time. But also knowing that the investment in your energy, in your time with you, and the value you get back, this is also giving to children in Kenya.
Yes.
Who have not had the opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
So this is really important and powerful to share that the value of getting adjustment and getting a soul and spinal alignment. I think it's nice because the soul's in it. Like you're giving soul and value to others.
My heart goes into it. I think it's really important that anytime someone offers a financial contribution, at least for the services that I offer, I just want you to know that helps support me in my own journey with my own family. But also, as I go to Kenya 3 times a year and support our school, that I founded a nonprofit to support the school 2 years ago, and actually some other children. In fact, there's a blind girl who was able to go to a special school to support her because she has a dream to be a journalist. And we have We have dollars coming in through the work I do and donations that will support her to go to school and to be able to actualize her dream. And then we have 83 students at this school in Kenya that I was called into to collaborate and the initiation of it. And so I just want to offer that every financial gift that I get to receive in exchange for what I offer here, it is dedicated for a better world. It is dedicated for a world of compassion and humanity.
Yeah.
And that continued evolution in such like humble appreciation and gratitude for this crazy ass journey called life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would love to just share that with abundance, and obviously you've seen the examples here that we've talked about, that it's so much more than this transactional, just money, thing that we think it is. And really the true abundance is the nature of who we are beyond the stories, beyond our gender, our jobs, like who we are as souls, the labels, right? And one of the things that when we're on our journey to aligning with abundance, we have to really align with ourselves. And that takes a lot of layers. And sometimes it's getting out of pain. Sometimes it's getting body work. Sometimes it's working with a coach or with someone like you, like a grief coach. Sometimes it's working with a doctor to get some medical things worked out and listening to yourself. So I think the mining for or aligning abundance is aligning with the self. And that's why I love that your offering as a chiropractor is truly holistic in that you're helping, your adjustment, of course, is the manual therapy, but there's more. And I think that's where the true alignment with ourselves, because that opens up so many things. When you align with yourself, let's just go down the rabbit hole of examples. When you align with yourself, you figure out what you really want to do in this life. You have more of a soul purpose or meaning that you contribute to the world. How does that gives more abundance? You connect with other people that might be in alignment with that purpose. And then you have these beautiful abundance in relationships and passion and purpose. And then aligns in profitability, aligns in service and helping others, aligns maybe helping the planet. And it's not always transactional. If you have this level of unknowing yourself, you have a level of trust in yourself and spirit and connection to your spirituality. And you'll see that the flow of this is totally, it's a flow.
It is, and I think it's important that we realize our brain can't figure it out.
Yes.
Oh my God, I've coached so many. I love coaching women that have big missions and yet have things to process first. But I love like in that expression, like we might have like see the big picture and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do all these things.
Yeah.
But if we're not willing to also recognize we're going to feel pain sometimes, we're going to feel emotions that we have been told or conditioned to avoid.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I'm coming out as also a grief and empowerment coach, is because if we don't come face to face with in a brave space, a supportive space, whatever that may look like, we won't allow for the full healing and the full expression of ourselves.
Yes, we have to detox these layers, these labels, these emotions, everything to actually uncover the abundance of who we are and what we have to offer. And all that relates to all the abundance that has to come. That's the next flow. So this topic is like so deep and it's so vast. And this is of course what you work with people individually, but I'm hoping that our perspective on abundance today and how to align with it. I mean, there's many different ways. Aligning with yourself by getting in touch with your body and through chiropractic adjustments. It's just one way.
One of infinite ways.
Yeah. And so that's what we have to share today. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think it's just, I did want to answer the one question, of why I stopped.
Why did you sell your chiropractic?
I want to share that just as another dimensionality of why I do what I do or who I be. So 8 years ago, this coming month, May 11th, I was widowed, and that will be a whole other conversation. But just to offer that, I was with my precious husband for 20 years, but he told me I would be meeting somebody, and within 3 short months, I met my next chapter, and in that process, not only was I grieving my love, I was also falling in love with a new person, and also blending 2 of my own children with another child, and we recreated a whole new family. I had no bandwidth, no experience, no reference point of what that could look like. And as I was trying to practice and going room to room and trying all the things, I came to a space after I had hired an incredible associate who I didn't realize I was hiring my replacement, but he was so aligned, he was so perfect that I realized I came in the season like, it's time for him to take the helm and it's time for me to step back. I did my job. I didn't know at the time when I started White Rose Family Chiropractic that I was going to be putting my, like moving on, but I created an incredible space. My legacy is now he has this beautiful practice that he has evolved into his own magic. And I'm so proud of him. And then I got to take a step back, lean into coaching, which as I coach women, I realize it's also my healing journey. And they have been such beautiful. Each person I either put my hands on in a chiropractic adjustment or a coaching session is always teaching me, always training me to be better. And I love that. And in that space, I really took a major pause to decondition the go, 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 achieve, strive, always trying to prove, which has been an 8-year process and it continues. And then now it's like that part of me wanted to like offer this as another way to connect with people. I love being in physical presence with others that feel what they want to receive and collaborate. So I just wanted to honor that and just offer, it's a sacred season of my life that is very precious, and grief has been one of my greatest sacred teachers. And I bring that awareness and that level of compassion by witnessing death and dying from a place of honor. And because of that, I think I offer a space for people to bring all of their emotions. Like I always tell people, all of you is welcome, not just the edited parts. All of you, bring it. It's okay. We're going to be here. I don't take it on. I'm not here to rescue or save, but I'm here to be a space that feels safe for you to witness yourself as you are.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's abundance.
That is abundance. It really is. And I think it's also just, I'd say that it's very uncommon in this world for someone to just be with you versus trying to fix you or thinking something, because what she's sharing is very true. Dr. Angela, you're someone that when I'm in your presence, I don't feel a single ounce ever of judgment. What value is that? Have you ever sat in someone's presence where you don't feel like there's an ounce of judgment? That's value. And that's really needed. That's the kind of space that we need to maybe feel what it feels like to not judge ourselves, because that's abundance, starting to move out of that. So that is love. And I always say, I'm like, my mission is to embody radical love. And I love teaming up and collaborating with amazing practitioners like yourself that are doing the same in your own way and making an amazing difference in the world. And this is abundance, like abundance high five. Oh yeah, we're doing so much, and we want to spread that abundance. That's what we want to do. We want to spread that abundance to you in whatever way on your journey it's appropriate for you. So,
yeah, and I just trust that you're receiving this message in the most magical way it's meant to, and it ignites something beautiful in your own journey.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, or of course, if you want to schedule with us, how do we do that? Is you go to Dr. Angela's web page on our website. You can actually look under chiropractic on fireforhellabundance.com, or you can just call 814-9136, 717-814-9136, and Vicki will schedule it. So yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you. Have an amazing day.
Bye.